All right, my friends, thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate you giving me just a few minutes of your time. In today's video, I want to discuss what I believe is one of the most masculine characteristics of the apex man, and that is emotional self-regulation. The ability to control one's self, his emotions, his words, his actions in the face of adversity and chaos. This requires quite a bit of personal accountability. It's no one else's responsibility to make sure that you keep your head on your shoulders but your own. If this was really relegated to anybody else, what would that make you? It would make you a child, wouldn't it? Because that's what we do for children. When children lose their temper and they become violent and they say horrible things to each other or to their parents or to whoever, you say, well, they're children. I need to do something to make them behave. I need to get them in line, or I need to find out what the problem really is. When you're an adult, you don't get that luxury. So you need to get it figured out. And I'm not saying that I do. I have my days when I'm doing all right, and I have other days when I feel like I'm doing really well. Chances are things are running just smoothly enough where it's just easy enough for me to feel like I've got everything under control. But life will test you. People will disrespect you, will disregard you. They'll look over you. They won't consider your side of things. They'll cut in front of you on the road. And they may not appreciate all your efforts. Some of this may hit very close to home. It may take place at work, or it may just take place on the road. It's somewhere in between. But life will test you to find out where your next hot button is, and it's your own responsibility to make sure that you can maintain your composure. Here's a good illustration of this. In the October 2022 issue of Reader's Digest, in the section called Life in these United States, there's a submission here by a woman named Ann Vincent from Wakefield, Rhode Island. Here's what she had to say. I was mired in stop-and-go traffic when I accidentally rolled into the truck in front of me. I apologized profusely, and after seeing no damage, the truck driver and I got into our respective vehicles and drove on. Until, that is, I hit him again a minute later while he was stopped at a red light. This time, the driver climbed down from his truck, walked over, and asked, "How do you stop when I'm not here?" Is it anybody else's responsibility to make sure that you stop? Does anybody else in your life feel like, what do you do when I'm not here? Is anybody else walking on eggshells because you cannot control your tongue or your temper, your actions? It's your job to make sure you stop and think and consider. What could this woman have done to have a different outcome? Well, she could have paid more attention. She could have kept her eyes on the road. You see, when you leave for work in the morning, you get in your vehicle, you have to know that there are going to be challenges out there. Not everything's going to go your way. The only thing you can control is yourself and the vehicle you are operating, right? That's the way you have to think about the rest of life. You're only in control of yourself. You cannot maintain what anybody else is going to say or do. Yes, people are going to cut in front of you. They're going to disrespect you. They're going to pass you by. They're not going to listen to a word you have to say. It's a cutthroat world. But that doesn't give us the right to be able to say or do whatever we feel. We cannot be submissive to our own feelings, and oftentimes we are, and it gets us into trouble every time. And so I have to work on this on a regular basis. The place where it's hardest for me to do this is at home, with the people that I'm closest to. I can get away from everybody else, but I have to live with my wife and my kids, and they know me better than anybody else, and they know exactly They know exactly what gets to you. And we all test each other. We test them, they test us. But it would be wise to put our foot on the brakes every once in a while, and instead of saying something, keep our mouths shut, or keep them shut long enough to think of a less emotional or non-emotional response. One of my favorite television shows a few years ago was House of Cards. Up until the last season of it, I enjoyed it immensely. I was hooked on it. I couldn't stop watching it, and I would watch it again. It has to do with the political machinations in Washington, and it's very, very dramatic, and it felt very lifelike. A lot of cutthroat people where the end justifies the means. Everybody works against everybody. People lie. They seek their own interest. And that's how the world really works. Certainly how politics really works. Well, Frank Underwood is the main character. And he is an evil man. But he's a very smart man. And when he became president, he had his own Secret Service agent who was essentially his bodyguard. And at one point, in one episode, his bodyguard lost control of his faculties, and he did something rash. And I want to share with you what Frank Underwood said to him to get him back to where he ought to be. He said, "From this moment on, you are a rock. You absorb nothing, you say nothing, and nothing breaks you." Let that be your mantra. No one's expecting you to really say nothing, but say nothing long enough to think of a wiser response, to take a wiser tack on things. It's a great mantra. From this moment on, you are a rock. You absorb nothing, you say nothing, nothing breaks you. That is manly. Very, very masculine. I hope that you give that a lot of thought. I appreciate you listening to this. I would hope that you leave a comment down below and like the video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Now, I do want to say some of you might be looking forward to this to find out what I have in my beard today. I am wearing Boss Man beard jelly. They're a hammer scent. If you haven't seen this before, this is what their beard jelly looks like. Of course, I'm not going to pour it out in my hand here. That's what I'm wearing in my beard today. I also applied their relaxing beard balm, their hammer scent. Oh, before I did that, in the shower, I used their Fortify conditioner of the same scent. And then I also applied their co-lotion. Great smelling stuff. It's great for the skin. It's like cologne. And they have four or five different kinds. You need to get them. And then one thing I've never really talked about on my channel is their deodorant. They have like 4 different deodorants, and this is hammer. So that goes right along with my beard jelly and my balm and my conditioner. I like them a lot. Greg15 is a code that will save you some money. I'll leave a link for you down below. Boss Man is great. It's one of my favorites. Yeah. Be your own boss. At least control yourself. Remember, it's up to you, not anybody else. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've gotten something out of it. Join me next time. All right, guys, have a great day. In the meantime, be wise.